Hello everyone, you're watching Campus Channel and we're here today with the Pole Léonard de Vinci to talk about the Master in Business Management. The head of the marketing department, Marcos Lima, and student Charles Perrier are here waiting for your questions. But first, we're going to start with the pitch. All right, you get 60 seconds flat, Marcos. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, go.
So, welcome to the Pole Léonard de Vinci. We have a business school that is unique in the sense that it's at the heart of Europe's largest business district, which is La Défense. We're very proud of the interactions we have with companies around us at La Défense and of the interdisciplinary approach we have working with engineers, working with internet designers, trying to emulate an environment that people will actually find in the companies they're going to work with. We have a project-based pedagogy that is aimed at making students live their experiences. So we'll talk a little bit about all of that. Maybe, Charles, you have something to add?
Well, for now, I don't think so. You said pretty much everything. I mean, I'm going to talk about my experience too.
All right.
Well, I hope I can give the viewer some more insight.
Excellent. All right, so let's just wrap up the clock there and we'll move on to the face-to-face. Please remember to keep sending us your questions. They're going to show up right there. So let's take the first one. Charles, would you like to take this for us, please?
Okay. I see that you have two different tracks with one shorter than the other. Can you explain the difference, please?
Right. Do you want to explain this? You want Marcos to explain it?
Two different tracks. I don't really understand what it's about.
They probably mean that the difference between the fourth and the fifth year. And indeed what happens is that the fourth year is supposed to be the basis of the pyramid. So if you think about it, we're trying to give the foundations that will culminate in the top of the pyramid. In that sense, it's a wider and larger scope. We have more ECTSs on the fourth year credits than on the fifth. And the idea being that on the fifth year, you're more specialized, you go deeper into the knowledge domain you chose, and then you have to practice. You have a 6-month internship. In that sense, that's how the architecture of the program looks like.
All right, so can you explain who the students would be that would be coming into one and not the other?
In fact, they are cumulative, so they're part of like if you think of the pyramid metaphor, the fourth year is the basis, and they all have to do the basis, so the basic marketing disciplines or finance disciplines. But then on the fifth year, you got to choose and even during the fourth year, there will be choices of branches and specializations based on electives you can follow, based on your interests, based on your career plans. But eventually, it will all culminate in a choice of a position that you're aiming for, and hopefully the internship you're going to make will be in a company that will prepare you for that position.
All right.
I would also add that for the fourth year and the fifth year, you have the choice to, you can choose 2 more minors, minor 3 they're called, and basically it's you can choose any subject you want. We got many different subjects, even those that are not really coming with the specialization you chose. For example, I am doing marketing management, and I chose a minor 3 in project management and information systems. It was really good.
All right, let's take this next question. Marcos, if you'll read this, please.
If we come at year 3, how much professional experience do you require? At year 3, we don't really require an experience. It's true that there's 2 ways you can join us, before the master's level at year 3 or for the master's level. Year 3 is a very peculiar year in the sense that all our students are abroad. Our French students are required to go abroad for year 3, but we receive students from all over Europe during that year. So it will be a very interesting experience for those who join us in the 3rd year, because there will be a few French students, but the majority will be European students from all over the continent that will come to Paris to study with us, and it's a very dynamic multicultural environment, English only, so no experience required, but open-minded, multicultural attitude. That's what we require for those who come to open year 3.
So those students who are coming in year 3, are they mostly exchange students who will go away after that 1 year? Or?
Exactly.
Okay.
There is the exception to that rule is students who arrive at year 3 from France, and we cannot send them away because it's their first year. So their first year will be, their first semester at least, will be with the other European students. In the second semester, they will get to do an internship abroad. But it's not mandatory. They can choose to remain with the other exchange students during that year, and that will count as their international year because they are among international students.
Got it. All right, let's take the next question. Charles, will you read this, please?
I had never heard of your school until I started researching grad school in France. Why choose your school over a program at school with more international recognition like ESSEC or ESCP? Well, basically the difference between those schools and ours is that you don't need to have a 2-year prep school. So you can go there right away, right after you graduate from high school, which might be more interesting if you want, have a deeper insight of what the school can offer, and you have more time to work on your own projects.
So what about the international students? Because I don't imagine they're having to go through prep school for these other programs.
Of course. Well, international students, as you said before, they can come for the 3rd year or the 4th year. And basically, since it's very specialized, you get pretty much the same courses as you can find in other schools. The difference is that in this school you will have a more digital approach. I mean, our school is one of the pioneers in this domain, in teaching digital marketing, digital management. And I think it's very valuable, especially nowadays, because a lot of companies look for digital managers and digital marketers.
So Marcos, for international students who are looking for a program and a name that they can trust, but they might not necessarily know your school, what would you tell them to convince them to come to your school?
Well, I would say that business schools in France are required to have a state accreditation, and our school is proud to have that accreditation, which means that we comply with the state requirements for being an international 5-year program. So I would tell them that they should look at all schools that have this accreditation, and we're part of them, and look for what these schools can offer in terms of specific career paths. Like Charles mentioned, we're very digital oriented, very international oriented. Like 40% of our permanent professors are international professors. If those are 2 keywords you're looking for, I think we're a good place to be.
All right, let's take this next question here. Marcos?
Is this program accredited for the diploma to be valid abroad? Again, yes. It's the key thing to look for is the fact that the Ministry of Education backs our program with a seal of approval, and that makes this program recognizable and abroad. That's our sign of quality.
Do you have any other accreditations beyond this seal of approval from the ministry?
We're pursuing several accreditations. We earned the master accreditation last year, which is something that attests the quality of our research. So we are very active in research and innovation and digital technology. But we want to pursue ACSB and other international degrees as well. You have to bear in mind that until recently, until 5 years ago, we were very much oriented towards a French audience for which these degrees were not as important, and we've been repositioning ourselves towards a more international audience in the past 2 years. So that's when it became really important to go after these accreditations, and that's what we're doing right now.
All right. Next question, Charles.
Hello, I don't speak French. I would like to learn it though. Can I still be accepted to this program? Well, first, you need to know that for the 3rd year, since the 3rd year, all the courses are in English. So basically everybody can attend it as long as they speak in English at least. And well, basically I don't know if foreign students can learn French in our school?
They can take French lessons, and above all, they can make friends with French students.
Yeah, especially. I mean, students...
That's not the same as learning French.
Well, it's
It
a
helps.
great gateway for learning
That's
French.
true.
Is to, particularly if you find somebody from the opposite sex, that's a great way of doing it.
Yeah,
Dating advice,
exactly.
along with getting a degree.
Well, for example, I went abroad in Barcelona, and I didn't learn any word in Spanish, and basically I learned when I arrived there. So I met some Spanish people, and well, in 3 months I was able to have a conversation with Spanish people. So I think it helps a lot.
Do you offer classes to international students who do want to learn French? Are they integrated into their curriculum, or is it extra?
It is. They have classes. They have French classes. They have classes about French culture, but I wouldn't think that these classes by themselves would suffice to be fluent in French. It's just a few hours a week. It will take an active effort from the part of the students to actually develop fluent skills in that language.
All right, let's take the next question here, Marcos.
What exchange opportunities do you have with other universities? So most of our exchanges take place in the third year, but not exclusively. If you want to go on exchange internship, or if you want to go on an international internship on the fourth or fifth year, you're encouraged to do it. We have some opportunities for special projects with partners that we work with on specific cases. So what we encourage students who want to do that is to come and talk to their head of their program and say, I'd like to do credits and elsewhere, and I identified among your several dozen partners that these partners here have a track that interests me. Would I be able to attend classes there and validate those credits when I get back? And we can work on a case-by-case basis.
All right. Shao, would you take the next question, please?
When we specialize, how much training and education do we get in our chosen track? And I take classes from each specialization. Well, as I said, you can take a minor in a field that you don't necessarily study. So, of course, you cannot study all the different specializations that are available. You have to choose one to specialize yourself. But you can, well, first you can exchange with students in other specializations. For example, I have friends who do finances. Well, basically, when I want to get some courses on finance, I can ask them, and they will gladly give me. So I think, well, you choose your track, and basically, when it comes to how much training and education you need, well, basically, you don't, as you said, you don't need any specific background. You learn a lot in the first courses. For example, in marketing strategy, every year we basically remind ourselves what we've learned the previous years. So you can always be at the right level. I mean, you're ready to work on the field.
What I would advise students to do is actually think about what career they're looking for. At the fourth year, we expect students to have a clear view of what career they want to pursue, and to keep focus on which credits and which disciplines will lead up to those careers. Our tracks are built in such a way that they naturally will lead to certain types of careers. We encourage students to choose early on one of those career paths and to stick as closely as possible to that path. Even though, as Charles mentioned, there are electives that can get you out of the beaten path and offer you the opportunity to learn something that's out of the basic elements of a career path.
Yes, and also during the fourth year, the courses are still pretty global. So, as you said, we're not on the top of the pyramid yet. So we can study different fields. And even change our specialization from one year to another. So there are different possibilities.
You can actually change your specialization. They're not stuck in one particular
Between
track.
the 4th and the 5th year, you can switch career paths, as we like to call them.
All right, we're going to take a quick break from the face-to-face because it's time for 3 words max. Our guests have 3 words to describe their program, and they get 1 phrase for each word to explain why they chose that word. So who is going to give me the first word?
I will go with interdisciplinary.
Okay.
The phrase is, because we're 3 schools, a School of Engineering, a School of Internet and Digital, and a School of Business, which is the school we come from, we offer the opportunity for students to work in projects that involve students from all 3 different schools around innovation projects.
Excellent. All right, word number 2.
I would go for international because, well, we have quite a lot of foreign students in our school. I often come across Chinese people, German people. I even have German people in my class. So yeah, it's a very open-minded class. So international describes it best.
All right, 3rd and final word.
Well, because we're doing with all words with I would go for innovation. I believe that because we're so concerned with digital and because we've been involved with digital for 20 years, we are constantly looking into the latest digital technologies and how they can be useful both in the workplace and in the educational setting. So that's part of what we try to do.
Well done. All right, let's get back to the questions. Charles, will you take the next one, please?
If we do the 5-year track, do we need to know what we want to specialize in when we apply? Well, when I first came for the first year, I didn't know what I would specialize in. I certainly didn't want to do finances because it's not my field. I mean, I'm very bad at maths, but marketing was pretty attractive. So after the 2nd year, I started thinking thoroughly about what I want to do. So I looked into the different specializations, and well, I chose marketing. It's pretty easy to choose what you want because the different paths offered by the school are, I mean, it's easy to choose because it's according to what you like to do, basically. I like marketing, I like negotiating, I like talking with people. So naturally, I chose my path, marketing management.
At what point do students have to choose their career path, as you're calling them?
They have to choose that between the 3rd and the 4th year.
Okay.
What we do with our students that go abroad is we have a back-to-school event in which we do kind of a career days, and we do different types of simulations and projects that will help them understand what each career looks like and make their decision. But again, it's never too late to change, to slightly adjust your path between the 4th and the 5th year. It would be difficult to go from marketing to finance, but within the field of marketing, you can adjust your career path, or the same thing in the field of finance.
It's really flexible.
All right, that's a good point to make. All right, let's take the next question here. Marcos?
Does the school have student life associations? Oh yes, we do. That's one of the strengths of the school. We strongly encourage students to participate in the several associations we have. We have associations about cooking, about sales, sailing actually.
Where do you sail near Paris?
Well, there's we're not far away from the ocean. We're 2 hours away from the ocean, so they have all kinds of sailing programs that they do there. We have a junior enterprise association that will actually put students in real consulting projects. We have music associations. We have champions of France in cheerleading. So there's all kinds of very specific associations. I invite everybody to go to our website and look at all the different associations we have. It's a very fun student life.
Yeah. Charles, are you a member of any of the associations?
Well, during my 1st and 2nd year, I was part of an association which is called AMA, A-M-M-A. So basically we do MMA, which is fighting sports. Then, well, now I am in what we call De Vinci partner. So it's an association that looks for partnerships with different companies. So we're looking for different internships we can offer to the other students of our school. So it's pretty good because we are already in contact with different companies. We have we meet really most of the time pretty known people, and well, it helps us make a really good network. I mean, there are also other different associations. For example, there is an association that participates to what's called the Shell Eco Marathon. So it's a marathon. It's a racing contest, and basically they have to create a car that can last the whole race with only one gallon of gas. It's pretty good because it's very challenging. It's also
encourages innovation. Which
yeah,
the
exactly.
School is very
it helps
on.
us work on what's next in the automotive field, and yeah, it's working pretty well. They raised like 30,000 euros, and they have sponsorships with very big companies such as Altran, for example.
Wow.
Which is, yeah.
It sounds very, very involved and very intense.
Exactly.
We're going to have to take the next question, though. So
right.
Let's go.
Is this a really competitive program? How many applicants do you accept each year? I don't know how many applicants are accepted each year, because each year it changes, basically.
So Marcos might know.
Yeah, I would say that we are a growing business school, and as we teach our students in a growing market, there's always more places for new entrants. We're not as competitive as previously mentioned schools like ESCP or ESSEC, and we're trying to increase the numbers in our program. So I think most people who apply will be welcomed in our school.
Yeah, it's growing fast. The school is always going up in the rankings, and yeah, so we're more and more competitive compared to other schools.
What is the most notable ranking for the school right now?
Recently, we've been ranked 6th best post-bac school in Ile-de-France. So that's something we're very proud of. If you go to the ranking of Les Étudiants, the fact that we're among the 6 best post-bac schools in our region is something we're proud of.
Excellent. All right, let's take the next question, Marcos.
So, how do culture and the arts figure into the program, and how do you teach understanding of the contemporary world, as noted on your site? Oh, thanks. That's a very good question. We approach this in different ways. We have what we call the soft skills department that involves not just developing competences like public speaking, leadership, communication, but also awareness about world issues and understanding the environment around you. Part of the fact that the students have to leave France for 1 year is to open up their horizons to other cultures and other languages and other fields of interest. We'll have what we call transversal weeks, in which students will be challenged by a company to work with people from students from other schools, from the engineering and multimedia schools, to deliver actual projects like developing a product or developing a new service. And we try also to help them understand that culture is about learning how to work with people with different profiles. Engineers have their own cultural biases. Maybe designers will have their different biases. Managers have their own, and they have to put those biases together and work in a complementary way and understand each other's weaknesses, potentials, and limits. So that's based on an active project pedagogy approach to developing soft skills.
So, but in terms of the humanities and art and culture, I imagine you're not going to do that for the students who come in at year 4 for the master's, but for the students who are doing the 5-year program, are there any humanities involved in the curriculum?
In part of the first and second and third years, we have disciplines like the global economy and ethics and philosophy and sociology. And in that first cycle, which is in French, and unfortunately speaking French is a condition for joining those first, second years, that's when we take students that come out of high school and try to open up their eyes theoretically to the world. And then in the third year, concretely sending them into the world so that they can see with their own lenses what these concepts look like in real life.
Yes, and I would also add that we have some specific courses. For example, when I was in second year, we had theater. So it helped us work on our public speaking. It was pretty good. You also have, as we said, you have associations. There is an association called Comédia de Vinci, and basically it's about theater. You also have a music association. You have an association called ADA, Aider, Donner, Agir, which is basically just like the Red Cross. They're working with the Red Cross, I think.
They are.
So yeah, you have a lot of opportunities to
get involved in the arts and humanities. All right, let's take the next question, Charles.
I would like to inquire about this master's program in business and management. How much are the tuition fees of this program? It's about 7,300 euros, which is, I know it may sound quite a lot, but most of the business schools are around 10,000, so we're still competitive in that field too. Yes, and I think it also depends. You can.
Is that per year? So if they're coming in at year 4, they'll pay that for year 4 and 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you also have a deposit of 1,000 euros.
And what about scholarships, Marcos? Do they have student scholarships available?
There are certain regions that are elected for example, I know that we're particularly working with Indonesia this year, and we try to set aside certain discounts based on merit and for students coming from developing regions. And that's again something that we'll discuss on a case-by-case basis and the basis of merit.
All right, let's take the next question. Marcos, will you read this, please?
Since the school is in La Défense, are there opportunities to visit companies and meet people who could hire us? Definitely. That is, again, the reason I believe our school is very well positioned is the fact that not only do we have a very, very modern campus that looks like a flagship, if you look it up, but also we're surrounded by the most powerful companies in France. To give you 2 examples, Altran, the company that was mentioned by Charles, is what we call the godfather there, the sponsoring company for the Charles promotion for his whole cohort. So Altran is sponsoring a series of activities, projects, interdisciplinary competitions, company visits, lectures for this cohort. Last week I was visiting a company called Engie, which is a $100 billion company in the energy sector, and our students can see how open innovation and wellness at work are practiced in this company by going there and actually talking to people literally 100 meters from our doorstep. So being at the heart of La Défense gives us this immense privilege of partnering with the surrounding companies.
Charles, how has the location been beneficial to you in your professional networking activities and finding internships?
Well, first, the location is very good because you get pretty much everything around you. You got pretty nice cities around. If you want to go out, to get to lunch, you have everything around.
But professionally,
yes. Yeah. You have a lot of companies, for example, just like we said, Altran. It was a month ago, they gave a conference in their headquarters, so we could attend to that conference.
Did you meet employees there at that company?
Yeah, absolutely. There were also Valeo, which is one of the world leaders in car manufacturing. And basically, car parts, and basically they came to our school to give a conference about their next prototype of connected car, and it was very delightful. It was with De Vinci partner, and everyone could attend it, and we could then meet some of the executives and talk to them, get their cards, and maybe ask for an internship. So yeah, you can meet a lot of good people that are working in the field that you're targeting.
Excellent. Marcos, will you take the next question, please?
All right, how international is this program? Where are students coming from? Well, I would say that there's two parts to this question. The first part is how international is our teaching staff. And I would say that between a third to 40% of our permanent staff are international. Myself, I'm Brazilian. We work with a couple of Italian people. There's people from South Korea, from Ireland, from Argentina, so from Morocco. So the fact that we have an international staff is already part of how international we are. Now, concerning the students, we have a very extremely international third year and an increasingly international fourth and fifth year. Like I mentioned before, we've been working on, we opened up the fourth and fifth years to international students only 2 years ago. So we're having a growing number of interested students coming to our program. The bright side of that is that students are not tempted to remain among international peers. They are almost forced to interact with French students and learn the French language and learn the French lifestyle. And that's something that our international students appreciate quite a lot.
Charles, you're French. Are you nice to the international students who come?
Absolutely.
Do you make friends with them?
I mean, yeah. During the last semester, we had 2 foreign students. One from, there were 2 from Germany, but one came from Vietnam or Thailand, I think. And basically, there were only 2 foreign students, so they had to discuss with us. It was awesome because we made friends with them. We went out a couple of times all together, and they were perfectly integrated.
All right, let's take the next question. Actually,
Ooh.
It's the expert question.
Expert question. It's gonna be tricky.
All right, Marcos, here is your expert question.
So, in view of Brexit and the potential for other shifting trade alliances, how does the program discuss and prepare students to understand and navigate business practices and policies affected by politics? I have a colleague that would be delighted to answer this question.
Unfortunately, he's not here.
He's not here, so I'm going to evoke Bastien Nivet, who's an expert in geopolitics. So here's an example of somebody whose full research interest is in helping students navigate geopolitical power struggles of our world. I think that Brexit is for France specifically is actually an opportunity. The fact that a lot of companies are considering leaving London and coming either to Paris or Frankfurt, which are the 2 major centers besides London for business, will give our students greater opportunities to have a global career right here from Paris. Paris is positioning itself to become a new city, and for our financial students, this is great news. So, like we say in Brazil, watching the sea catch fire can be a beautiful spectacle if you get to eat fried fish. It's a Brazilian.
It's a very specific
proverb,
cultural,
very cultural
proverb.
But in a sense, Brexit could be a great opportunity for people looking for global positions right in Paris.
So, Charles, how do you feel the school is preparing you academically and in your learning and in the curriculum? Do you discuss what's changing in politics and how it's affecting how business is being conducted?
Yes, well, first we discuss it with each other. I mean, everybody's affected by events such as Brexit. Fortunately, I went to England before the Brexit, so I could enjoy it a lot. But we discuss it with our teachers. Sometimes we have serious conversation about it. So. We often find solutions together, and we have different opportunities to debate on it. So, for example, we had a class which was about debate, and we talked about it quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get back to the face-to-face. We have time for just a few more questions. Marcos, will you take the next one, please?
All right. there is no information about what kinds of classes we take. Could you give some precise examples of courses in the curriculum, please? Okay, so in order to do that, I would have to get into each one of the tracks. So I will quickly give an overview of the 6 available tracks that you can pursue. There's 3 in marketing and 3 in finance. If you choose the marketing domain, you can. It's easy to find yourself around because they're all 3 digital tracks. You can pursue digital marketing strategy, digital marketing and distribution, and digital marketing and data analytics. So example classes that would be part of all 3 tracks would be things like understanding digital business models, or understanding digital channels and multi-channel strategies. Specific classes would be web app development for those who are interested in digital marketing strategy and ecosystems. In digital analytics, we'll have things like big data analysis and consumer behavior based on data analytics. So depending on which track you'll have different disciplines. On the financial side, you have a choice between digital retail and banking, corporate finance, and controlling and information systems. And you have specific disciplines tied with taxation, budgeting, stakeholder value creation, and things like that.
All right. Let's take the next question here, Charles.
Well, this is the question that was asked just before.
Yes, we'll wait for the next question to show up. Here it is.
What kind of work do we do in the company projects? For example, the last project I did, it's what we call a hackathon. So it's basically a project you have to do in like 3 days tops. And
who are you working with? What company?
Well, it was sponsored by Altron.
Okay.
And we had to imagine the factory of the future. So we had to imagine a factory that will be there in 50 years. So it was
a factory of what? Producing what?
Everything. I mean, we had the choice. We could choose the type of product the factory would produce. We had it was a sandbox. Basically, we could do anything we wanted. So I was working with, in my group, we had students from all different backgrounds. We had 3 students from the SILV, the engineering. We had 1 student that is in the IIM. So she was, her curriculum is about multimedia.
So what did you do? What did you make? What did you decide?
We imagined that factory, and we had to make a presentation about it. We had a 3D model that was made by one of our group members. We had a pitch to make to employees from Altron. And it went pretty smoothly.
So what came out of that meeting? Did they take your feedback? What happened?
Well, basically we're still waiting for the results, because there is a jury at the end composed by employees from Altron, and they're still deliberating, I think. And there were very different results. I mean, every group had a different idea. It was really challenging.
All right, we have time for one last question. Marcos, if you'll read this, please.
Is your program certified by any accreditation?
Maybe we have, since you already mentioned this one, maybe we have one more question we could go to. Any other questions?
Hi, what's the funniest association you have here?
All right.
Wow. I would go for the cheerleader association, because they're very enthusiastic about what they do. They take it very seriously. They give often presentations, and it's not just for girls. I mean, there's guys, and they're lucky ones because they're in the minority, that get to do these incredible acrobacies with girls, and somehow it teaches them values like trust, because they will have to trust each other to perform in a timely manner, in a aesthetically acceptable manner. There's a lot of hard work that goes into preparing these presentations, and they seem to literally enjoy it and have fun. You have to bear in mind that we are one of the few business schools, to my knowledge, that have actual sports infrastructures built into our department. We have huge rooms for practicing sports and for doing workouts and etc. And the cheerleading association takes full advantage of those facilities. So I would say that it's the most fun of the associations.
Well, actually, that's a very good note to end on because we're going to have to wrap up. Any final words, Marcos, before we say goodbye?
Well, as final words, I would say that if you're looking for a school that emphasizes interdisciplinary, project-based, learn-by-doing pedagogy, if you're looking for a business school that's at the heart of Europe's largest business district and that is obsessed with innovation and digital technologies, you should look us up.
Excellent. Well, thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you again very soon right here on Campus Channel.